Greetings people, Person here, and today we're going to talk about the AMAs by Ixa from the past 2 weeks. So almost every single week for the past, I don't know how long, Ixa, one of the Hearthstone lead designers, is making a tweet where you can ask any question and you can, well, maybe get an answer. Potentially, sometimes. And because last week there wasn't enough interesting stuff, you know, I didn't make a video, so we have 2 weeks of interesting things to talk about. If it's not going to be interesting, sorry that I lied, didn't mean to. I just got done filming the next expansion showdown with Dexter, which is going to be released tomorrow, or today if you are a Patreon. And I can tell you, might have taken like 8 hours to do that and edit, and yeah, it was fun. And on top of that, I would like to thank today's sponsor, which is myself. We don't have one. And the sponsored message from myself is, I have a Pokemon channel called Solem I don't know. It's one of the links in the description down below. I played the game without taking damage and using shiny onlys, as well as helping you to set up that for you for free on your PC. And maybe in case, you know, Hearthstone dies, I can fall back on that. It almost has like 600 subs. Almost. Now with all of that out of the way, let's look at all the questions and answers. Starting with my own question first, because, you know, it's me and it's my channel, and honestly, it was just at the top because it's Twitter. So I was asking, is there ever a thought about a card or like a mechanic that exceeds 10 mana crystals, or like limits any player to less than 10. And while he said that giants are a version of that, he also referenced Titans in the Warcraft universe. Now, if I'm not mistaken, and I very likely might be mistaken here, I think Titans are the ones that created the world of Warcraft. There is like a 24-minute video about the entire lore. I think Titans made the world and invited the old god. I have no idea. So how would big minions like the old gods, in positive, in nice, look like? Maybe restore every character in your deck to full health? That wouldn't make any sense. But hey, maybe in the future we have Titans of Warcraft as an expansion. Could happen. Probably not. Next we got a funny one. Are there any nerfs you have made and then later regretted? The people that made the nerf regret the nerf. So my question would be, and I know this is, how do I dare asking that, but why not just reword that? Like, if you're the person making the decisions and you regret it, why not just change it? Type in different words and code the card differently. That's just the easiest way of thinking about that. There are probably like 15 different people you have to talk to and like multiple higher-ups that have to approve that. But it's like, if they regret that, why not just fix it? It's not like it's printed in real life. And then we got an old salty man being positive. No question, just want to say thank you guys for doing such a great job. I'm bad at reading things. Super excited for the core set, classic mode, and the open communication has been phenomenal. Why is Zeddy positive? Unbelievable. They have changed him, brainwashed even. No, but it's nice to see that Zeddy's actually nice sometimes. Even on Twitter to other devs. That is appreciated. Zeddy, you make people smile. Maybe. Ben brought that a game design talk where he discussed time to fun. Hearthstone typically requires a lot of faffing? Create decks and choose modes, etc. What do you see as being the best way moving forward to trim down the time to fun? And the reply was, Battlegrounds is a good example of that. Press a button and get in there. Ideally, more experience are like that. One of my biggest learnings on Hearthstone is that I don't actually think deck building should be a core part of the experience. And that got me thinking. Obviously, Battlegrounds is the, I guess, most played mode at the moment, at least when it comes to like content creators on YouTube and Twitch, because there's no cost to entry besides like the tavern pass for 2500 gold, and you really just gotta press the button and you can play. And if they want to stay away from deck building and think that limits the fun, then my question would be, why do we have duels as a mode, where we have to own epic cards in the Darkmoon Faire to get different hero powers? And then we also have to build a deck? Isn't that the exact opposite of what he just said? To be fair, he never said that he made the decision for duels and programmed that game mode or anything like that, but it's funny to see the person that responds to comments. Modes where you don't build a deck are preferred, and yet the newest mode we have is build a deck and own cards. Well, maybe one of you still plays that. Will you give us a hint about the new game mode? And the hint is, I love the art. There are lots of epic Warcraft pieces, but also many cute ones. Thinking about Tiny Finn. Maybe a penguin. Xeris is probably no longer my favorite cute piece of art once it releases. I think he means Shifter Xeris, the card, the 1 mana 1/1, shift into something random. Most of the cute cards, if not all of them, cost like 1 mana or less. Does that just mean we have like Hearthstone Blitz mode? You have like 5 mana maximum, 10 seconds per turn, draw 2 cards each? If that happens and I just predicted that, well, future me, good job. If it doesn't happen, well, I guess I will never reference this moment again. Many people would like to see the upgrade card to its golden form button. Do you think that we might finally see it this year? And the answer is, no timetable, but it's something actively being kicked off as a project. And that's pretty interesting, isn't it? Imagine it this way. If you own the same common card, let's say 8 times. Okay, that might be too much. Maybe 4 times. and you could just upgrade that to golden for free. Then you wouldn't lose out on anything, you would save dust, and you would just get the golden version of a card. I think that would be cool. But let's see, maybe the system they put in place is not the best and people are going to complain day one that it's pay to win still. I would just like to have the option to make a card golden. Has there ever been a Deco Class that was the meta breaker that didn't get discovered before a balance patch or new expansion came out? Not really. In order for something to be a meta breaker, we'd have to see that backed up in data. In order for it to backed up in data, it has to have been played and so on and so forth. Here's something that came to mind though. There was this one interview by Ben Broad in 2016 or 17 by Wired, where he talked about that one of the best decks ever made in GVG was a Mech Warrior, an aggressive Mech Warrior with a card Warbot. But that never got discovered, so if outside of that nothing ever came to mind, then, well, GG's. We all figured out the meta together by, letting other people figure out the meta, so we can copy-paste the decks into Hearthstone. For that, good job to all of us. What do you take away my sorry emote? And how many achievement points do I need to earn it to get it back? And he tags Ben Broad. Took it away from you. I'm not responsible for his sins. Broad. We remember him for his raps on Angoro, for his song about grilled cheese recently, and now also for taking away the sorry emote. Ben, I'm disappointed. I'm not angry, just disappointed. What is the weirdest card ever went through design consideration? Battlecry, add 1 to all numbers on your cards for the rest of the game. I forgot how exactly it was worded. Further on in the thread he explains that everything would get added +1 to all the numbers you can see. For example, Arcane Intellect would be a 4-mana card that draws 3. Arcane Missiles would be a 2-mana spell that deals 4 damage randomly split among all enemies. Boulderfist Ogre would be a 7-mana 7/8, even better stats for the cost. I have to say, I like the idea of that. But it might also be really broken if everything gets like +1. Every single weapon in your deck +1/+1 durability and attack. That and Eaglehorn Bow, you trigger a secret, gets +2 charges. Yeah, that might be a really good card. Has the team ever tried to design a card but it ended up being too hard to implement? Just recently we wanted to destroy your deck and transform your hand into this vehicle that had 3 buttons that did some sweet things. So what can you imagine based on that? You destroy everything and you become a vehicle and you have 3 buttons. Maybe there's any concept when it comes to like custom cards that you have seen this applied to. And then you can paint like an image when it comes to that. But honestly for me, I have no idea how that would look like. I was there when you announced the hero cards in Knights of the Frozen Throne. Do you plan to make another different type of card in the game? And the answer is I hope so. I was just talking with various members of the team about how exciting new cards frames can be. I love Sagas, Sage, Magic the Gathering, and part of it is just a different visual of the card. In Magic, there are multiple different gimmicks when it comes to those cards. For example, there was one that is like a 99/99 and you need to combine like 2 cards with that. There were cards that were horizontal instead of vertical. There were a couple interesting ideas on how to hold your card differently. How do you implement that if all your cards are like this normally and you hold them in your hand like that? A bunch of questions, but I like the idea. Imagine we had different frames for cards. I still remember in 2017 there was Fuller's Games, a YouTube channel that made their own version of Hearthstone to code beyond legendary cards. So whenever you summon a legendary, the entire card is like the minion popping out of it, kind of. It looked pretty sick, and then they got their cease and desist letter from Blizzard because Blizzard hates fun and humanity. So, well, then yeah, they had to stop making videos. But if we get something like that in the game, I mean, that would look sick. I would like that. And for the last question, could we ever see the return of the dragon meta? Would love to see more dragons, and I hope we can all agree on that. Yeah, we just did it not too long ago, but dragons will be back. Probably dinosaurs too. Sounds like Angoro. Themes that people just generally always love. Let's see, what do we all love? Stuff that is free. A Chinese New Year celebration bundle, where we get stuff for logging in like in Legends of Runeterra instead of spending 30 bucks on 4 skins. What else do we like? Good question. Updates, balance, nerfs, all of that. But I digress. So it comes to dragons and dinosaurs that are going to be back. If that happens, good job. Angoro 2.0. I'm up for that. Sounds good. Overall, I'm just happy that somebody out of the Hearthstone team takes time out of their own day to answer questions we have on Twitter. And just to make this really clear, he answers everybody who sends him a question within like X amount of time if he gets to the question. So you don't have to be incredibly famous and popular like Zeddy. You don't even have to follow us or anything like that. Just make a Twitter account and then you can ask him a question. And when you already make a Twitter account and you're stepping onto that site for the first time, you could follow me too so I can, boost my numbers and charge higher rates in case I make a sponsored post for a game. Now, as mentioned, tomorrow there's going to be the next expansion showdown with Dexter. I assume you're going to like that video a lot. If not, then I read all the comments, so if there's any feedback, let me know. Lastly, I got some videos planned that should be really interesting for the next couple days. Thing is though, I've been recording and making videos for the past 12 hours, and it's now 9 a.m. in the morning, and I, woke up yesterday at like 8 p.m. I will get to everything eventually. I'm just up for too long. But yeah, hey, I can make videos, and that's pretty cool. So thanks a lot for watching. Hope you enjoy your day, and take care.